covered. Also,
Yeah.
we'll have a bit of news as well with regards to it's slightly good news and it's also slightly worrying, but at the same time,
I made this piece of news more horrific by mentioning the D word.
Yeah, but also the T word was attached to this, and it would have been an absolute shambles.
It's right for people who were looking forward to it or really want a movie. It's bad news. For the rest of us, it's good news. It's good news.
I'm not one of these people. I don't want a movie made of something for the sake of it. I don't want a series of something made for the sake of it. I want people to give a shit.
I honestly think if there was an Akira live action movie, it would be universally hated. The only reason I want to see it is I want to see what they can actually do with like Tokyo.
Yeah, but we're going to admit, right? So Warner Brothers here's the thing: Warner Brothers had the rights of this for 20 years, and they did fuck all with it, and they spent millions of dollars.
The problem is with something like this. Where do you start? I mean, like, look at the size of the fan base that Akira. Look how many people are out there who create lists of anime who stick Akira right at the top of #1 place. How do you start? Like, how do you start making a film of something that a hell of a lot of people consider to be perfect?
Sir Peter Jackson managed to do it with Lord of the Rings. You have to first give a shit. B, put your ego aside. It's not your reimagining. I'm making my own thing, even though I have never written anything, but I'm going to take this other property and write it as if it's my own. You put that crap out the window and you just do a faithful adaptation. But that's not the culture, so it's not going to happen that way. So I'm glad that the rights have went back. So basically, after this is like Hellraiser and stuff, studios having the rights and stuff, and then they're going to pump something out just to keep them. But Warner Brothers has got itself in that much of a pickle of its own making. By the way, I have no sympathy for Warner Brothers.
Oh, all film companies are pretty much the same, aren't they?
Yeah, I have no sympathy. If people in that sphere lose their jobs, blah blah blah, I do not care. You deserve it, because the first thing you forgot was the customer base, and in fact, you actively hated the customer base. So I have no sympathy. If you lose your home, end up in the street, blah blah blah, there's no sympathy for me. Now I know there's a lot of websites out there who commentate and stuff and like, oh no, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. I just don't care. If bad times befall you because of your actions, that's on you.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Story. Same as I take responsibility for my actions in life, so should you. General you out there, that's it. That's my take.
I was about to say, what are we saying here? No, you can't. It's like you've got to take responsibility for your own actions, because who else is going to take responsibility for them?
No, but that's not the culture today. Culture today is basically,
it's not our fault.
Fix it for me.
It's not our fault. It's their fault. We made the film for them. They didn't like it. It's totally their fault for not liking it.
Yeah, and
which is boring. The most stupid, arse-ended take that the film industry throws at it. I mean, if you want us to like it, maybe you should have listened to it.
Yeah, and then don't sit and call people names because they didn't turn up, and then tell them that it wasn't for them. This isn't for you. Okay, you just didn't turn up, you bastards. And it's like, nah, go away. We're done with that now. That's why the sooner Hollywood burns to the ground, either figuratively or literally, I don't care which, and disappears, the better.
Filmmaking seems to be picking up in a lot of different countries now. I think that pretty soon it's not just going to be like Hollywood that throws out the summer blockbuster. I think there's plenty of other countries out there that are capable of stepping onto the world stage with movies and putting really good stuff out there.
But the summer blockbuster is the normie films anyway. So the sort of films that we all watch aren't the summer blockbuster. We watch throughout the year.
It was the first thing that came into my head. I've got to be
no, but you're 100% right. Everything's with the mentality of the summer blockbuster, and that's the be all and end all of the Hollywood mentality. But we're not off that ilk, so it's not for us anyway. But we can keep franchises going, especially in the horror genre. We have kept cinema alive. We've kept the doors open, and hardcore fan bases like anime fans have kept studio doors open. And you think of the number of studios, not just one or two, but hundreds, that doors are kept open because of fans across the board buying material.
Like
there's a value there.
all anime does is move. It's like at the moment everything is centered around Japan, but China is producing some really good stuff. So it's like a lot of anime production will go to China and then it'll move to South Korea. And it's like it was for a little while. It was in Taiwan, and then it'll move back to Japan. So it's kind of like it's almost like they hand the baton on to new companies, and it's like the main production goes around in a circle. It doesn't happen in films. It always has to be like, this is our film. We don't need any help doing our film. Like Warner Brothers, this is our film. Disney, this is ours. MGM, if MGM is still around, because I can't remember.
Well, they're owned by Amazon.
Fair enough. Amazon then. But it's like I am kind of glad that it's out of development hell, even if it's out of development hell just for the simple fact that the copyright, the rights have reverted back to Kodansha.
Yeah. And that's a massive thing, especially recently, because Japan has went no more with the localizers, the translators, and the reimagines. They've watched their work get bastardized, and they've went, nah, we're not playing that game anymore. Fair play to the Japanese for doing it.
They're even pulling away from the West in things like computer games, because people who like localized computer games they're doing it. They're putting
the only company still under thumbs Nintendo. The other companies, and in fact, even there's a difference between like Sony, PlayStation. There's a difference between Sony Japan and Sony in the West. Like it's treated as a separate division. There's like a massive divide there, and like I said, I have no sympathy for people who lose their jobs, because all they've done is create shite, be lazy, and then actually actively hate the customer.
Yeah, let's say what's the main piece? What's the main reason people lose their jobs? They lose their jobs because they're not doing their job properly. And it's like all these people in the film industry, they all seem to have their own agendas, they all seem to have their own message that they want to put across. And they get kicked into touch when they do, and they lose their jobs. I can't feel sorry for someone who's responsible for the loss of their own job. Call me cruel, but I mean,
no, it's not even cruel. It's just that's matter of fact. That's where it is. If I stop trying, I lose my job. If I don't put the effort in with the publications, nobody will want to read them. You know what I mean? We all have a responsibility. If you're producing something, yes, you can have your artistic freedom, you can have your vision, but you have to put the effort in. That's the minimum requirement. If you give it, you do the best you can do, and then you always try to get better. That stopped. It regressed in the Hollywood sphere of filmmaking, and it just became nepotism and people getting shoehorned in.
Yeah.
And this is it. I'm just glad, I'm just glad because Akira is one of the holy cows of anime. It's one of those seminal movies. I know we talked about it during the review.
Yeah. It I mean, even today in Japan, it is still considered to be one of the gods of animation.
Even normies, even people who aren't in the anime, know Akira.
I don't care what fandom people are. Yes, they will all have heard of Akira, because it's like you could walk into the middle of a bus stop and go Akira. There'll be at least one person who'll go.
Everyone will think of bike scene. You know what I mean? Neo Toku. You'll think cyberpunk. Even if they've never watched, they'll know it. It's not. It's one of them things. That's how powerful this movie is. So treat it with respect.
The greatest cyberpunk films ever made. If they ever do remake it for any reason, I want them to put the bit that they missed out in.
I'd be interested in. I still mean to do it. Is get the novels. I've got it on my list. My purchase list, but I just no money at the moment.
It better be the deluxe version in the box.
Yeah, that is.
Because there's an art book that comes with the reason being is like there's an extra book. There's like a book on the art and like the development of the film Akira that is only available in that box set, and it's well worth reading because it opens the film up, and you'll find out a lot about the film and why bits were included and why bits were cut out in that book. Plus, the artwork is amazing.
Yeah, that's once again, it's worth if you like Akira. Like I bought the collector's edition, the 20-year one or something. You know what I mean? That's how old it is. It'll always be. It's something you're proud to have on your shelf.
My copy's over there. It's like, as I'm watching things, as I like fall in and out of love with various series. The stuff on my shelves changes, but Akira will never move from that corner over there.
No,
Akira and you can will always be on my list because it's like it doesn't matter what kind of mood you're in. It's just like a film. It's a film that you can pick up and watch. I'm not even going to call it an anime. It's a film. It's a movie.
So look how many people they've had involved in this. trying to get this off the ground.
It like look at the fact that they could have stuck with any one of those people and just thrown any slop out. I think it actually shows how serious Warner Brothers was about making an Akira movie, because it's like, you're not right for the job. You're not right for the job. Nope, that's not what we want. That's not what we want. You're not right for the job either. Don't even let him through the door. It's like the amount of people they've gone through. None of these people have been able to like provide Warner Brothers with what they want.
Yep. Where is it? Yeah, so there's the shutdown in 2012. Like they had this from like 2000 something. Yeah, they had
Budget.
Kirsten Stewart, Helena Bonham McCartan. They tried to get all the big names. Ken Watanabe.
Watanabe would have to be in it.
But here's the bit that makes me so happy this didn't happen. For Frank's sake, stop doing that.
Is it the T word?
It's the T word. Taika Waititi. Stand still.
Dangers of when you load your web page, start reading something, and all the adverts load in, and everything just goes all over the place.
Right. Sorry, I'm trying to highlight it for folks, but basically, 2017, Taika Waititi could have been making this. That would have been a shit show. We're covering What We Do in the Shadows at the moment, and Wellington Paranormal, just about to wrap that up. In his sphere, Taika Waititi's brilliant, or he was brilliant. He went to Hollywood and he lost his brain.
Oh.
It just fell out. He stepped on the Hollywood Boulevard and his brain just clunked out, and that was it.
A lot of really good, like, promising directors have done that, though, haven't they? It's like they've been producing all this really good, like, left field, out of the way stuff, and the moment they get into Hollywood, they just kind of like toe the line. It's just like they just kind of go in there, and it's almost if like the pressure of Hollywood just kind of like squeezes anything unique that they had out of them.
That's why I had major concerns when the director of Godzilla -1 said he wanted to go to Hollywood. And like, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm kind of hoping that there's some clause in his contract with Toho where Toho will just go like, it's all right if you go for a holiday, but you're not working there.
Yeah. Anthony Hopkins came off like an interview years ago. He said about the Hollywood thing is you go there, but you take it as it is, but you have to come back. You can't stay there too long, and you can't take it seriously. He said about how that whole lifestyle, the people, it's all about being seen, and it's just madness, and it would drive you, if you actually took it seriously, it would put you up the left. And that's how he's managed to stay centered, is he kept coming home and just, staying away from it, just understanding what it was, doing what was necessary, but basically not getting involved with the culture. Taika Waititi did the opposite. He became involved and just lost it. So what was he doing? He had finished Jojo Rabbit, decent.
That is a weird film, but I did enjoy it. I've got to be honest.
He directed an episode of The Mandalorian, and then he was writing Thor: Love and Thunder. Did I watch that?
I've got to be quite. That for me is reason enough never to forgive the man.
Never watched The Mandalorian, and was that the one? I haven't watched any of these Marvel things in ages.
I thought Thor: Love and Thunder was the one with the female Thor.
All right. Yeah, I never watched that one. So
Mandalorian was all right. I watched up to the end of the second series, and then just kind of went, "This has gone terrible," and
no interest.
Never bothered with Boba Fett and anything else that came out.
So he was doing that. He got dragged into that stuff. I heard basically got panned for the Thor one. Nobody liked it. So that could have been the future if Taika Waititi had directed Akira. I think it would have been Crow 2024 level of hatred.
Wow.
I honestly think I think he would have received the Crow 2024 level of backlash.
I've never actually seen
went ahead.
I've never seen Crow 2024 because of people's recommendations not to waste my life watching it, because I'll never get the time back.
Watch my 45-minute review where I say fuck a lot during it.
I've seen your 45-minute review. I was quite impressed by it.
You're having an aneurysm reviewing the movie. Like, honestly, I was just getting angrier the more I talked about it.
I've got to be honest. I didn't know there was a Crow 3. I didn't know there was a Crow 3.
Yeah, I've covered.
I've seen the first two Crows. I didn't know there was a Crow 3.
Yeah,
so I was really surprised when we reviewed Crow 4.
4 Crow movies.
God blimey, God dear. I wonder what Crow 5 is going to be like.
And then there's a TV series, Stairway to Heaven.
I've heard of the TV series.
That was shit. That was terrible. It still wasn't as shit as that movie. Like, honestly, I have been well and truly crowed, and I've seen some of the worst, and it was still nothing compared to that movie. Now, what I'm saying is, this, if Taika Waititi and Warner Brothers had to put this out, it would have been in that level. I could just, you can smell something in the air.
Yeah.
That would be it. That would have just been, there'd have been burning torches, pitchforks. There'd have been people cosplay. Actually, people would have been forging their own anime weapons just purely to storm the studios of Warner Brothers.
That bad. I'm gonna say I am. I just wanted to see what like America could make out of Akira.
Well, didn't you watch Ghost in the Machine or Ghost in the Shell?
Got to be quite honest, the first Ghost in the Shell anime isn't very good. Yeah, I did. Scarlett Johansson.
The remake was Scarlett Johansson.
Everybody was screaming that she didn't look Japanese enough. People, the character she played, the Major, is Russian. She's not Japanese.
Once again, that's casual,
She just has she has a Japanese name for the same reason that while I am online, I call myself Flay. It's a nom de plume. It's not my real name isn't Flay. It's the same as like Major Kusanagi's name isn't Makoto Kusanagi. I will rage over this. I will die on this mountain.
Yeah. And that wasn't even as egregious. This would have been, this would have been horrible.
I quite like this in the show. It stuck to the main part. It stuck to the main part of the bulk of the couple of episodes it was based on pretty well.
Yeah, that's it. Wasn't egregious. It was just, in by numbers.
Right,
but that's CGI laden.
This would be
live action.
It's like all the roles would be reversed. Tetsuo and Kaneda would, of course, be ladies. I have no problem with that. Tetsuo's girlfriend, whose name I cannot remember, I am so sorry, would totally be a bloke or another woman.
Yeah, they do all sorts of stuff to it. They'd mess up, and more importantly, they just screw up. Taika Waititi, with his weird sense of humor, would throw random jokes in here and there.
No, there's enough humor in Akira without needing to add any more because it's not comedy.
Here's the thing that got me, like recently with Warner Brothers. There's a new Superman movie coming out.
There is.
What's his name? Gunn. What's his first name? James Gunn. It's said that he's not using the fake muscle suits like the other Superman. If I remember rightly, Christopher Reeve wore lycra.
Yeah,
that was all him.
I've got to say, I'm pretty sure that
I'm pretty sure James Dean. What is it? Dean Cain wasn't wearing a muscle suit.
Yeah.
When he did the series, I'm pretty sure Tom Welling lifted his own weights. He didn't wear a muscle. Yeah. In fact, until the last episode, he never even wore the suit. Henry Cavill. I'm pretty sure that's his own workout. I'm pretty sure he built those muscles himself. And then they will have this. I've seen the trailers, and you see this Wade, like wee weedy bloke, and he's got all the stitchy stuff on, which looks like fake muscles to me.
That is going to be absolutely. It's like, right, yeah, we're not going to use muscle suits. This bloke's going to have to build muscle himself.
I don't know who that actor is, but he's not. Once again, this is what Warner Brothers does. This is what Warner Brothers is putting out right now. And yeah, imagine they got hold of Akira. Actually did it. That, like I said, Crow 2024 level of hatred. I could guarantee it if it went ahead.
It's kind of like you know when you're watching a house burning down or like a blind puppy walk across a busy motorway. It's kind of I want to see a live action version of. I want to see a live action Akira, just to see
if the puppy gets hit.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah.
And I'll turn my eyes away at like the final moment, but I just want to see if it makes it or not. I actually think if
it's like right. There's a kid sitting in a room and it's all full of like combustible material, and they're playing with the matches, going. And you're just you can take the matches off the kid, or you're just gonna go I'm going to see what happens. We know what's going to fucking happen. There's no if buts or maybes about it. We know that one of them matches is going to get struck, go into flames, and chaos is going to ensue. There's no.
But what if?
No.
Japan tried to do a live action Akira.
If Toho Studios got hold of it, or they did it themselves.
Kodansha themselves make films.
There's absolutely no right.
It's like
Japan, Japan has money. There's money people in Japan without leaving Japan. Tokyo is one of the world's powerhouses.
There's also. I bet there are a lot more people in Japan or like the Far East where the name Akira means way more to them than it will to anyone in a suit sitting in an office.
Oh yeah,
somewhere in Hollywood.
They could crowdfund it.
It's like Hollywood. Like
imagine buying about right. We're going to crowdfund this. Who's on board? Ding ding ding. Right. Ding.
It'd be the biggest thing since Star Citizen. It really would.
Yeah, there's no maybes. It's one for the fans.
The way Akira in the West, the way Akira in like Hollywood is developed, or rather the way it hasn't developed. I'm glad it hasn't. I think the guys at Warner Brothers were serious about it, but they couldn't find out of all the names on this list.
Yeah,
they couldn't find anyone who could like take the story and do it justice.
Yeah,
that's my head canon around this. It's like, no, I'm not going to pick a name. If we let this person write it, it's going to be terrible. Or if we let this person produce it or direct it, it's going to be really, really, really bad. We can't do Akira the justice that we want to do it on the large screen.
And they can't afford any more flops. Warner Brothers, they're already looking at splitting up Warner Brothers. It was already sold by the mobile company. You remember, what was it? I forget. The mobile company that bought Warner Brothers like, nah, I'm selling that shit. I had enough. That was only a couple of years ago. It's on the verge of being broken up as we speak. They cannot afford any more major flops. And you're talking, this is 300 million.
It's
to
like
make a proper, true to scale
nearly every movie that comes out of Hollywood these days is a flop, or at least if they're not, the ones that aren't flops don't seem to be making it to the front pages of the news articles and the websites.
Nobody cares.
Because it's like if Hollywood has success, no, more money for Hollywood, jolly good. But if Hollywood creates an absolute stinker, it's like, Hollywood, yeah, in your face, mate.
Here's the thing: we're all done. We've all had enough.
I cannot the last time I went to the cinema. The last time I went to the cinema was to watch Godzilla -1.
That is a worthy entry.
We
should do that. I think we should do that sometime.
Well, totally. It's like we can do.
I want to talk about that movie.
We can do like Japanese movies as well as anime. Why not? I mean, does that mean
I kind of want to talk about? I keep skirting around it. I want to do a proper review because that movie is amazing.
It's after the I enjoyed most of the Hollywood Godzilla. I didn't enjoy the Hollywood the Hollywood version of like Godzilla versus King Kong. Didn't enjoy that. Didn't enjoy the original Godzilla versus King Kong. But it's like it's almost like Hollywood Godzilla is become one of the good guys and is always fighting for mankind.
Yeah.
In the original Toho Godzillas and the latest ones, like the latest two, like Shin Godzilla, Godzilla -1, Godzilla's out there for himself.
It's a reactionary force of nature.
He is. He's a hurricane, basically. Yep. It's like
I actually thought in Shin Godzilla, the first, without giving away too many spoilers, Godzilla doesn't appear as Godzilla. He has a couple of different forms. I thought the first form was more terrifying. That googly-eyed thing from the bottom of the ocean.
It's just something new that's crawled out the water. It's like when you see Godzilla, it's like, it's Godzilla. It's like when we did Planet of Monsters, the first series, like the anime. It's like when Godzilla shows up, it's like, yep, that's Godzilla. And then you get to the end bit where you're like, oh no, that's Godzilla. Again, without giving away too many spoilers, but yeah, it's like we can cover all the Godzilla films if you want to, from the first one all the way up to the latest.
That'll be a whole series on its own.
I am a massive Godzilla nerd. I will admit that. I own every single Godzilla film that's ever been released on DVD up there.
I watched them religiously in Channel 4.
Every time they used to come on, I used to watch them or video them and watch them.
Yep. But this you don't touch this. You don't, unless you're prepared to give it the utmost respect. You don't touch it. Leave Akira alone.
I'd like, if not a live action version, a 3DC version, an anniversary 3D CGI version of the original film.
Almost like a scaled up.
Yeah, right. Frame for frame, exactly the same film from exactly the same angles, exactly the same cuts, but like modern, the high definition 3D CGI.
Yeah, I could see that. However, as we discussed during the review, this movie still blows you away, even when it's current animation. And when you see the level of detail, the fact that it's plates and the detail, this is.
In fact, if you watch the making of, you see the guy.
Yeah, which I put up the channel as well.
The smallest paintbrush in the world, and like a pair of magnifying goggles, just like individually painting lights onto the side of a huge skyscraper that takes up most of the screen.
Each of the cells, the amount of level and detail that goes into each scene.
Yeah. The chase scene, one of the most famous images in anime, right there at the top of the article, that's been parodied how many different films? Even The Simpsons parodied that bike slide.
You're not getting better. Like, even because that would just be computer graphics. It would look, anything done with this would look cheap.
Yep, if it was
honestly, I would cheapen it because this was done with love and precision, and just this was like old school. Like I was talking about the Japanese calligraphy last time, and the actual level of detail and the fact that it's a ritual. That's the way this movie was made. I mean, you see the way that they worked, and one person was one scene, and that was it. That's what they focused on. It was 100% of their effort. Yeah, you're not getting that. You're not getting that from Hollywood.
So that
guy but you're not even getting close to that.
That guy painting windows. His entire job through the making of Akira was just to paint windows on sides of buildings.
But when you go through the scene, you're there. Yeah. You're in Neo Tokyo. You're in the zone. That's the effect. That's why this thing will always be. You could release the 30-year edition, the 40-year, the 50-year. When it gets to like the 200-year edition, you can release this in its original format, and it'll still blow people away because it's a piece of art. It's the reason why this is classic art.
It deserves.
I know it sounds hyperbolic, but it is.
It deserves. Akira deserves to be in a museum.
Hey, Chris. Yeah.
Do you want to know the worst thing about Akira? After they finished making it, every single cell they used in the animation had been destroyed.
That's Buddha. That's Zen Buddhism. That's Shaolin monk type.
Like there are some out there, because artists who were working on it after the scene had been finished would smuggle them out and they would sell them on the market. Akira cells. There are Akira animation cells out there. I should think how much they're going to be worth.
Oh, it's stupid amounts.
But if you could that scene there is like a backdrop. There's like the backdrop, and then there's like maybe like 3 or 4 cells laid on top of each other. If you could find that scene and you had the money, would you own it?
Absolutely, that would be.
I sure as hell would.
Living room, yeah.
Just keep the curtain shut so it doesn't fade. It's like, excuse me.
That'd be hermetically sealed. You know what I mean? You'd seal that in a double glazing, so it would be in double glazing, so it would.
Can you imagine the
in a frame?
Can you imagine the amount of swag you could get showing it off to someone and saying, "Here's my original Akira shot." Those cells aren't small. They aren't tiny. Each individual cell is at minimum about the size of a piece of A4 paper, maybe A3.
No, like I said, tiny. I'm glad that this fell through. Honestly, I
still kind of want to see it made, just so I can like watch it and go like, "Well, that was average."
Yeah, nah. Anyway, there you go. That is that.